John Harbaugh has found a new home, but Sean McDermott has to find another. Let's get into the recap of these divisional playoff situations. Welcome, everybody, to Top Dog Coverage. It has been a crazy weekend. Harbaugh has found a home. McDermott has to find another one. Wild and crazy wins and losses that have happened this weekend. And I mean, chaos is everywhere. C-Dub, how you dealing with all this chaos? What's going on here?
I think we're still looking for an ankle for Bo Nix. I mean, Broncos fans are just devastated.
I mean, they have to be, right?
Just such a fluke injury. Like, it's crazy. On top of the chaos of all the games, with this divisional round, we had bookend OT games. Like, it was an incredible weekend, a lot of fun. Is CJ Stroud done? I don't know. I think Texans fans want his head on a spike, but my God, what a week. What a weekend.
Yeah, it's certainly the last 2 weeks he has not looked good. We all know that. He's been facing some tremendous defenses at the same time. Some teams are showing up and shelling out, and that's just the way it is. And so are head coaches. Okay, they're showing up to new places and getting shelled out of the other ones. So I don't know what to take of it anymore. There's a lot of great head coaches out there right now for the taking. And you know what? Each time one enters another town, another one comes out of a town. So it's very
It's like a third
interesting.
of the league is looking
Yeah,
for a new head coach or trying to fill in that gap. It's pretty crazy.
yeah. Speaking of filling in, if you guys are looking to fill in your football needs, if you guys are looking to make sure that you want all of the stats, all of the different things, the updates, the recaps, the reactions, follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Stay connected with us. Make sure you swipe up. Make sure you hit the 5 stars. Leave a comment. Spotify, Apple. Let us know. TopDogCoverage.com if you guys want to have some fun over there. Click the newsletter. We're going to have a lot more updates on our newsletter. The draft is shortly approaching. We only have 4 teams left. Our Super Bowl, that's our time of the year. Me and C-Dub go down to the combine, and then it starts all over again. We all know that football season never ends. Sorry for your spouses if they don't like that, but that's just the way it is around here. So with that said, we have a ton of news to get to you guys. And yeah, I think it's almost about that time to get into some news.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover. Let's get into it.
We do have a lot to cover. So, yeah.
Time for the news, baby.
You get it again. All right, cool. There's always
All right.
malfunctions on my end. You know this, okay? So,
Yeah, it's
all
all
right.
good. But
Start us off, C-Dub.
yeah, as Dirty alluded to, the Giants have finalized a deal to hire John Harbaugh as their new head coach. So the Giants have finalized a 5-year deal with John Harbaugh to make him the team's new head coach, per Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, and Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. This is straight from the coach's mouth. I'm proud and honored to be the head coach of this historic franchise, and especially excited to work with the Mara and Tisch families, Harbaugh said via ESPN's Adam Schefter. But most of all, I can't wait to get started with the great players on this football team to see what we can accomplish together. The 63-year-old is set to host his first press conference as the Giants head coach on Tuesday, per Garafolo. Harbaugh emerged as the leading candidate for the Giants head coaching vacancy shortly after he was fired by the Ravens last week. He visited New York on Wednesday for a lengthy in-person meeting, but no deal came together before Harbaugh flew back to his current home in Baltimore. On Wednesday night, however, it was reported that Harbaugh accepted the job, which kicked off a multi-day process to finalize the agreement. The 5-year deal is expected to be worth at least $100 million per Fox Sports' Ralph Vasciano, keeping Harbaugh as one of the highest-paid coaches in the league. So this was my prediction when we first heard the news about Harbaugh being cut by the Ravens.
Yeah.
I thought him and the Giants were a perfect fit with the talent that they have, with Jackson Dart's playing style. And the Giants have been in this limbo of going through all these head coaches, never really having that true CEO type head coach where
Mhm.
Harbaugh can come in and really just set that culture. I know he's not really a play caller, and he has to make sure he hires some really good coordinators, but at the end of the day, you've seen what he's built in Baltimore, and I know they didn't get a Super Bowl out of it outside that one where he beat his brother back in 12 or 16 or whatever.
Yeah.
But you saw the culture and you saw the Ravens way, and they were always perennial playoff contenders. So I think it's a great move for both parties.
Yeah, like we were talking about, if he's a Dart fan, if he was okay with that quarterback, he had his choice of either going somewhere where he could pick his own quarterback or going somewhere where the quarterback was already set, and obviously he is a fan of Jackson Dart, so he's going over there with a really, really good lineup. Okay, like I mean, he has his running backs, he has his quarterback, he can get his other offensive linemen. They cut 3 players right before this happened. They cut Neal, they cut the cornerback from Maryland, I forget Banks, and then they cut
Yeah.
I forget there was somebody else that they cut, but 3 Jalen Hyatt, the wide receiver. So
Mhm.
look, there's people coming from the Ravens too. So he might have some familiarity with that and he might actually bring them over. But I think it was a great signing as well. Yeah. Um, let's move on to Green Bay as the Packers extended general manager Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur. Okay, so according to Tom Pelissero, LaFleur, the Packers have agreed to a multi-year extension. According to Ian Rappaport, adds that an extension deal has been agreed to with Gutekunst as well. In addition, ESPN's Rob Demofsky reports that Executive Vice President Russ Ball was included in the extensions as well. So lots of signings right now. And according to Rossini and Schneidman from The Athletic, the policy did not give Green Bay playoff loss to the Bears a great deal of consideration. That game was just one of the many data points policy took into account when making the decision to extend his top power brokers. So the Packers are working towards contract extensions with all of these people at that time. So whether or not they won or they lost, they are all in. So I'm generally opposed. I've never say never. I'm generally opposed to coach or GM going into this year as contract policy. Policy said that creates lots of issues and confusion. I think normally you have pretty good idea of where the relationship is going when you have 2 years left. Not always, but normal. So that's what policy said. And look, they're trying to keep everything that's getting them into the playoffs right now. So they had three major signings in the front office and one on the field. So
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I mean, I know there were some people that wanted to see maybe a change with LaFleur, but he's been such a great head coach and he's been one of the winningest head coaches. I don't really see what the change would be, so
well, Bears
it's a good
fans are
move.
happy about this.
Yeah,
I guess
they're
guess they
2 and
would
1
be.
against them this year. So
So B Money Inc. As a Bears fan, I'm very happy that they are keeping their coach. I mean, I get it. I understand. It's Bears were looking good, and we're gonna get into that very soon after a couple more news brackets here. So
absolutely. So let's go to the NFC South where another major head coaching domino has fallen. So on the day John Harbaugh's Giants hire became official, another major domino in the head coaching market is set to fall. Kevin Stefanski's next gig has been lined up. So the Falcons have hired Kevin Stefanski as head coach. So with Stefanski is finalizing a deal with the Falcons to become the next head coach, as first reported by ESPN's Ab Schefter. Stefanski, who's 43 years old, flew to Atlanta earlier that day to meet with team officials. That interview has now produced an accepted offer, as confirmed by a team announcement. This is a 5-year deal per Diana Rossini of The Athletic. And then this is from Matt Ryan, the new president of football. He said, "We're thrilled to land a lead by example leader in Kevin Stefanski, who brings a clear vision for his staff, our team, and is closely aligned, focused on building this team on fundamentals, toughness, and active collaboration with every area of the football operation." So Ryan's hire last week represented the first major piece of business for Atlanta. It recently became known the team's preference was to hire a new head coach before filling the only current general manager vacancy in the NFL. Today's news thus comes as no surprise. Likewise, the fact Stefanski is set to take charge of the Falcons fits with several reports leading up to this agreement.
Another great coach going to a good situation, has a solid backup QB with a solid future QB, great running back, great wide receiver, and a good tight end. I think he has things to work with on the defense as well. I think this is a great place for him to go.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be set to retain Jeff Ulbrich, who I know we talked about off air, but he's been a great defensive coordinator for them. He showed promise with the Jets, and I think he had a really good year. Obviously Atlanta didn't have the outcome that they wanted to by missing the playoffs again, but I think he was a really good piece in turning that defense around.
Yeah, I concur, sir. I definitely concur. Let's go over to the Denver Broncos, where unexpectedly the Broncos quarterback Bo Nix to undergo season-ending ankle surgery. Yeah, you heard this right. The Broncos pulled off an overtime win on Saturday to advance to the AFC title game. They will be without their quarterback for the remainder of the postseason, however. During this post-game press conference, head coach Sean Payton announced, according to Tom Pelissero, that Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle during Denver's win over Buffalo. Surgery will be required as a result. Nix will not be able to return in time for next week's contest, if applicable, for the Super Bowl. Payton specified Nix's injury occurred on the second to last play in overtime. It was during that sequence that Tre'Davious White pass interference penalty set the Broncos up deep in the Bills' territory. Nix took a knee on the ensuing first down to help him line up Will Lutz for his game-winning field goal. Denver is set to host the AFC Championship next week as a result of the win, but the team will be forced to play that contest without its number one QB. And that will now bring in Jared Stidham, who will be starting, and Sam Ellinger will serve as the backup. So Stidham logged a grand total of 1 snap during the 2025 season, a kneel down in October. He will now be asked to lead the Broncos offense as part of their bid to return to the Super Bowl. So
that's Sam Ellinger, Longhorn legend. Okay.
Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go with your your legends.
Hey,
I can't.
Denver has a lot of Longhorns on their team. So
you mean a lot of legends?
Yeah.
Can we just say they have legends at this point?
They have a lot of Longhorn legends. From PJ Locke, Jahdae Barron, Sam Ellinger. They're stacked, bro. They're stacked.
They are stacked. Fair enough.
But I don't know how we're feeling about Stidham. I know he hasn't looked great in the few games that he has played.
Mhm.
I think he has 4 career starts, but it is Sean Payton. I think he can simplify the offense, put him in a position to. He doesn't have to win the game. He just has to put them in a position to score some points and let their defense go to work. You know what I mean?
Look, it's all I'm saying is that it's happened before. Let's not act like Peyton Manning looked amazing in the Super Bowl that he won. Okay, he didn't. He really lost his arm at the end of that season. That was
trying out zombie Manning out there.
I don't know what happened. All I know is that the defense was absolutely tearing it up and took Cam Newton to the shed and beat him up. That's what they did. So
yeah, and that he never jumped on that fumble, which loomed large and
that will never go away. That never ever.
Yeah, but hey, let's go back. Let's go to the AFC East on like another shocking firing.
Okay.
So in the wake of another disappointing playoff exit, the Bills are making a change on the sidelines. Sean McDermott has been fired, as first reported by Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. Kind of in some interesting news, General Manager Brandon Beane will remain in place, and he actually got a promotion out of it as well. But Brandon Beane will help lead the search for McDermott's replacement. Buffalo has now become the 10th team in the NFL to make a head coaching change during the 2026 offseason. The rest of the Bills staff was being informed of the news when it broke, per the exhibits. Josina Anderson. McDermott arrived in Buffalo in 2017. His tenure has been defined in large part by sustained success in the regular season, with the Bills reaching the playoffs all but once and posting double-digit wins in each of the past 7 years, despite the availability and high level of play produced by quarterback Josh Allen. However, McDermott's teams have yet to break through in the postseason. The franchise will look to do so with a new voice on the sidelines. So Allen and McDermott, they won a total of 8 playoff games together, which is the most in NFL history by a head coach quarterback tandem, which has failed to reach a Super Bowl, per WFAA's Ed Werder. A path to ending the streak of shortcomings appeared to exist during this year's playoffs, with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow all missing the tournament. Nevertheless, an overtime loss in Denver on Saturday marked another loss in the divisional round for the Bills and put the coffin in McDermott's tenure.
That's rough. That's rough. He brought it. I mean, he brought him to the playoffs each time.
They got pretty far. I mean, they've won multiple playoff games, and they were right in it, even though they turned the ball over 5 times this past weekend. But man,
I'll tell you right now,
get it done.
I have a rant on one of our next shows about this, and it's not pretty. I'll save it till then. I'll save it for one of our next episodes. But
what is it about coaching or what?
It's about a lot that's going on over there, and
okay. Is it the fact that Josh Allen in overtime just can't get along? They can't do it.
You hit me with that stat. I was like, wow. What's the stat again?
He's never won in overtime. I think he's like 0-7 or 0-8.
Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's something that just looks bad from the outside perspective. But I'll get into because I have a whole rant for it, and we don't have time for it. Right?
All right. I know a lot of Bills players were upset with the McDermott. They spoke out on social media.
I would be too. Because again, I'll get into it another time. It's but yeah. Let's go over to Detroit. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Where Detroit, the Lions have landed their preferred candidate for the offensive coordinator. Drew Petzing is heading to Detroit, according to Adam Schefter. The sides are working to finalize an agreement. In this case, per Schefter, once that takes place, the Lions will have their John Morton replacement set for 2026. Morton has dismissed after 1 season in the OC role. This hire is likely to see Petzing handle play calling duties. Schefter's colleague, Jeremy Fowler, confirms that the head coach, Dan Campbell, took over in that capacity midway through the 2025 campaign. As Fowler notes, though, it was expected throughout Detroit's search process that Campbell would hand those responsibilities to the new offensive coordinator. So Petzing called plays during his 3 years with the Cardinals. So they got their new OC. That's what they were looking for, and they got somebody. So
it's kind of a weird fit, is it not? I mean, Arizona's offense, I mean, obviously it took off once they made the change of quarterback, but I mean, was it even really like that great?
I guess it really depends on who's executing. Can these set of plays be executed with Goff and company, right? Can they, they have 2 really good running backs. I'll just say this out loud. I think the Detroit Lions have 3 really good wide receivers, and a really good tight end. So, I mean, does that change the situation? Is there a little bit more, football IQ over up in Detroit rather than in Arizona? I don't know, but
Yeah, no, it just seems like an interesting, odd fit to me. But hey, I mean, we'll see how it goes with. I mean, we obviously need to make the change of the coordinator, after his 2 became head coaches. So, I don't know, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into some more positive news. Go back to the AFC West. The Chiefs are bringing a familiar face back into the building. So earlier today, Eric Bieniemy received an interview request from the Chiefs for the offensive coordinator position, and a reunion is indeed set to take place. Bieniemy is expected to return to his previous role with Kansas City, as first reported by Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. Once a hire takes place, the Chiefs will have their Matt Nagy replacement in the building. Nagy has not yet taken a head coaching position, but the team has been preparing for departure in his case. According to Scoop City's James Palmer, this reunion has been in the works for a notable stretch. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid spoke with Bieniemy last night after the Bears' divisional round loss. Palmer adds a plan to have Bieniemy depart Chicago, where he served as the team's running backs coach in 2025, is now in motion. So from 2013 to 22, Bieniemy worked on Reid's staff in Kansas City. The final 5 years of that span included Bieniemy operating as the team's offensive coordinator. Reed routinely campaigned for the 56-year-old to receive a head coaching opportunity, but numerous interviews across varying hiring cycles did not result in a hire. In the end, Bieniemy took on a play calling OC gig with the Commanders for 2023. One season in that role was followed by another one and done campaign at UCLA. During last year's hiring cycle, Bieniemy returned to the NFL ranks by joining Ben Johnson's staff. The Bears produced a record of 11-6 and advanced to the divisional round of the playoffs during Johnson's first year as head coach. But the ground game played a key role in that success, as both DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai enjoyed strong seasons down the stretch in particular. Their performances have helped Bieniemy's stock as a coordinator, although this Kansas City reunion will no doubt see Reed continue to handle play calling duties.
Yeah, he's back at it. So, back with the team. Let's go down to Miami Beach, where the Dolphins are close to naming their new head coach, pretty much. So they're hiring Jeff Hafley as their head coach. Just putting the agreement together and everything like that. So since their search for Mike McDaniel's replacement began on January 18th, the Dolphins interviewed 10 coaches or 10 head coaching candidates. Hafley became the first member of the group to set up a second interview and emerged as the front runner for the job on Saturday. So 2 days later, Hafley is in the position to secure his first NFL head coaching gig. Hafley drew widespread interest across the league during the hiring cycle, also scheduled second meetings with the Raiders and the Titans. The 46-year-old will instead head to Miami, where he has a key connection to the rookie general manager, John Eric Sullivan. Hafley spent 2 seasons in Green Bay, where he worked with Sullivan. The Dolphins are the second NFL organization for Sullivan, who was a Packers employee from 2004 to 2025. So looks like they got their guy. Looks like that's looking up right now, and we'll see.
Are they the Packers East or Packers Southeast, I guess?
I guess so. I think so. Yeah.
Miami could be a big destination for some of these Green Bay free agents too. I mean, I think Dobbs is a free agent. I think Zach Tom's a free agent, maybe, or no? Did he get an extension? I don't know. I know there's a handful of Packers that could be free agents, but maybe they go down to Miami. We'll see.
It's a possibility, yeah. I did find something else that we should probably talk about. Do you mind if I throw it in there?
Sure, throw it.
All right. So Seahawks running back Zach Charbonnet suffered an ACL tear. So the Seahawks will be shorthanded in the backfield when they host the NFC title games this week. Zach Charbonnet suffered a knee injury in the divisional round, which will sideline him for the rest of the season. During an appearance on the Seattle Sports Radio Monday, head coach Mike McDonald revealed unwanted news concerning Charbonnet, according to Brady Henderson of ESPN. This is a significant injury. Per McDonald, Charbonnet is now set to undergo surgery and began a lengthy rehab process. An ACL tear occurred in the case. An ACL tear occurred in this case, as first reported by Henderson's colleague Adam Schefter. So the injury limited Charbonnet to just 5 carries on Saturday night after his final action of the game. The 25-year-old was evaluated in the medical tent before ultimately heading to the locker room. Kenneth Walker saw a heavy workload once again afterwards. He will no doubt be counted on an early and often in the conference title game and possibly even the Super Bowl. So Charbonnet was selected in the second round of the 2023 draft. His arrival came just 1 year after Walker was drafted in the same round. The two have been key figures on offense during their time together. Although struggles in the run game were an issue in 2024, improvements late in this year's campaign have helped lead Seattle to its current position. However, as such, losing Charbonnet represents a notable blow for the NFC's number 1 seed. I mean, these two guys are, 1 and 2. I mean, Kenneth Walker, downhill, strong runner. Charbonnet can also be a downhill runner at times, but very shifty, so it's that's a big blow. That's a big blow.
Yeah, Walker's the home run threat, and Charbonnet is just kind of the guy that's going to churn and get those 4 or 5 yards and make sure that he's in the right spot. But I mean, I think this is a great chance for Kenneth Walker to show what he can do. He's a free agent this year, so We'll get into the games, but man, he looked great in the game against San Francisco. So I think the backfield's in capable hands.
Yeah.
We could even see Cam Akers get a couple of carries. I don't know if you know that he's on the Seahawks. So
you would think that I would know. I mean, I've been saying his name all year long.
Saints legend Cam Akers.
In case anybody doesn't know, I continued to mistake Cam Ward's name with Cam Akers even way before Cam Ward was drafted. I continued to say Cam Akers. I couldn't stop doing it. C-Dub,
it made no sense. It made no sense.
C-Dub let me know every time I would make this mistake. So now apparently Cam Akers is my best friend. He's my favorite player in the NFL. Where he goes, Dirty goes. So we're just gonna
slide obsession there. Slide obsession.
A little bit. Oh man. But yeah, it is what it is. So I did want to mention this one. Another one just kind of came up where the Texans will pick up QB CJ Stroud's 5th-year option. The team is to discuss on the offseason extension. But just a quick little note, when speaking to the media on Monday, Anderson stated he hoped to spend his entire career in Houston, and talks on a mega extension are expected, and it would come to no surprise if one were to be finalized during the spring. So, again, they got their QB in that draft, and then they also got their edge rusher too. So, but Houston's got to do what Houston's got to do. But with that, do you want to jump into what happened to Houston and all these other teams? I mean,
yeah, we got 4 games to cover. Let's do it.
Yeah. So you want to start with the with that first game, the Bills and the Broncos, and we'll go from that point on.
Sure. I think if I remember correctly, we went 4-0 last week, right?
We did go 4-0 with our picks. Yes, sir. Yes, we did.
All right. So the first of 2 overtime games, you had the Buffalo Bills visiting the Denver Broncos. Broncos ended up winning 33-30, but at what cost? They lost Bo Nix for the rest of the season on the second to last play. But I saw a tweet from, I believe it was from Daniel Jeremiah, who said that Bo Nix plays a quarterback position as if he's highly caffeinated. And it's so true. Everything he does kind of looks frantic, and it looks very, he's like all over the place. But, he was 26 of 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, no sacks. And he also led the team in rushing. He was 12 for 29. McLaughlin was 4 for 21, and RJ Harvey was 6 for 20. That kind of rushing performance is not going to get it done against the New England Patriots. As great as their defense is, you're going to have to run the ball, especially with Stidham stepping in as the quarterback now. But Marvin Mims led the team. He had 8 targets, 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. So he came up big. I believe he only had 37 catches on the season, so he came up really big in this divisional game. Cortland Sutton, 9 targets, 4 catches, 53 yards. I believe that all happened in the second half as well. So it took him a while to get started. RJ Harvey, 6 targets, 5 catches, 46 yards. Lil Jordan Humphrey, 5 targets, 2 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. He did have a drop perfect pass in the first half, but he did make up for it to a touchdown. Pat Bryant, he did leave the game with a concussion, but he had 3 targets, 3 catches, 30 yards, and quite a few other players caught a pass as well. Bo Nix fumbled the ball, but he was able to recover it. And this Denver defense, they had 3 sacks of Josh Allen, 4 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, 10 quarterback hits, and they were able to intercept him twice. Will Lutz was perfect in the kicking game, as was Matt Prater. But on the flip side, Josh Allen he looked really off in this game. He committed a lot of untimely turnovers, especially that one right at the halftime where he was running and he kind of just dropped the ball and set up an easy 3 points for Denver. But Josh Allen was 25 of 39, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and was sacked those 3 times. James Cook had a day on the ground, 24 carries, 117 yards. He did fumble as well, and he lost it. Josh Allen was 12 for 66 on the ground. Dalton Kincaid led the team in receiving, 6 targets, 6 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 9 targets, 7 catches, 75 yards. Ray Davis caught a couple passes, as did Dawson Knox and James Cook and Brandon Cooks, who also had that. That was really kind of a controversial play. I don't know if you consider that a catch. It seemed kind of like a bang bang, and it was one of those, if it's not clear and obvious, where it was a deep pass. It was kind of underthrown by Josh Allen,
Yeah.
but Cooks caught it, and then the defender ended up taking it when they were rolling, and they ended up calling it an interception. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. It was kind of a tricky play, so I feel like they kind of had to go with what was called on the field, but I don't even think they took time to review it.
No, they didn't. I wasn't sure about it either. I thought it could go either way because if they're saying that there was no actual control, but yet it doesn't really hit the ground, I get it. But as I'm looking too, I think you and I are pretty good at seeing some of this stuff. We're not officials,
Yeah.
obviously, but I didn't really see any way that it was not in full control or anything like that. I thought that Brandon Cooks did kind of have it.
With his knee
Now
down too, right?
right, well, his back or his hip or yeah, what have you, and in the rollover. So it's like if his hand was on it and they were half and half, I still think the doesn't the tie go to the offense, right?
Offense, yeah.
So I am a little bit, I don't know about it. It could go either way. It did go either way, and I said it as soon as it happened. I was with my buddy. I was watching it, at a restaurant, and I said, "Dude, that right there is going to go down as one of the most uh, crucial plays in playoff history now because of that. It's going to be like the Des Bryant catch. You know what I mean? That's
Or
going to
the
go
no
down.
call,
Yeah,
the no call.
it's gonna be something very, very hey, by the way, I know nobody wants to see this, but hey, shout outs to Luis. Calling us right now. So good old Luis.
All
I know
right.
it's Houston, but everybody likes the Luis. So
Yeah, and I just think at the end of the day, the refs should have at least reviewed it, and I think that would have appeased a lot of people if there was
Mhm.
some explanation instead of just calling an interception and then going on with the game. So, but I mean, Buffalo, they kind of it's a miracle that this game went to overtime with how
Yeah.
many turnovers they had with the 2 interceptions of Josh Allen. As a team, they fumbled it 5 times, lost it 3, recovered it twice on their own. But this defense, zero sacks, only 5 tackles for loss, 7 pass deflections, only hit the quarterback 3 times. They did have that 1 interception, but overall, this was not a Buffalo defense that we're accustomed to.
Mm-mm.
They really adjusted and had a great second half. It felt like, especially after their offense really put them in a hole, and I mean they were down what 20 to 10 at halftime,
Yeah.
but it felt like it was a lot more with all those turnovers. But just they weren't able to get it done, and Denver moves on, but unfortunately they lost their general as well. So we'll see how this championship game goes.
Yeah. On to the next. Let's go to something. This is going to be a very quick one. We already said it from the beginning. The 49ers went over to Seattle, a division game that they're very used to, and they got the doors blown off. And the Seattle Seahawks won at home 41-6. And it started off right off the bat with Raheem Shaheed just running it all the way down, and even the punter
Shaheed.
tried to trip them. They tried to do anything they could in their power. And after that, it was just a massacre over there. That's all it was. And Brock Purdy went 15 for 27, 140 yards and an interception, sacked 2 times. They got the ball going a little bit on the ground, but not without Christian McCaffrey getting banged up a little bit over there. They just couldn't really. I mean, they had 6 different carriers for the ball here and went 27 for 108 yards, and they only got 2 field goals. So if you're looking to hear from a touchdown from my end right now, you're not going to hear one because the Seattle Seahawks defense absolutely just destroyed this offense and did not let them do anything. So Jake Tongue's got the most of what is happening on this offense with 6 targets, 5 receptions, and 59 yards. Christian McCaffrey had about the same 6 targets, 5 receptions for 39 yards. And then Juwan Jennings had 5 targets and he went 2 for 23. So there was nothing happening on this offense except Jake Tongue's fumbling and losing, and Brock Purdy fumbling and losing, and then Kyle Juszczyk, trying to, he fumbled once as well, but they recovered it. So you're losing 2 out of your 3 fumbles. They only had San Francisco was only able to get 2 sacks on the offense of the Seattle Seahawks. Only 3 QB hits and 6 TFLs, tackles for losses. That's all they were able to do. And I get it. They had way too many injuries. We've discussed this. This was something that is just like, yo, you're not going to be able to match up to this, even though you are divisional rivals and you know each other a lot more. But the Seahawks didn't have to do much through the air. So Sam Darnold went 12 for 17, 124 and a touchdown. He was sacked twice. He didn't have to do much because Kenneth Walker went 19 for 116 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground after Zach Charbonnet's 5 for 20, and then he got hurt and tore his ACL. Raheem Shaheed went 2 for 27. And then Velus Jones Jr., 6 for 10. Nothing crazy, but Cooper Kupp caught all 5 of his targets for 60 yards. Kenneth Walker, all 3 of his targets for 29 yards. Jackson Smith-Njigba caught 3 out of his 4 targets for 19 yards and a touchdown. And Jake Bobo for 1 reception, 16 yards. Okay, they didn't have to do much, but Julian Love was the one that recovered the fumble, and Nick Amenwori was another fumble recovery candidate. So they were able to get 2 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and 5 QB hits on San Francisco. And Ernest Jones, the fourth, ended up getting an interception. So I think it just Rashid Shaheed starting this off, making it 7-0 right off the bat, just kind of set the tone on what they wanted to do at home. And it was a bloodbath over there. And that's all it was. They came, they saw, they conquered, and they were like, you know what? Get out of here. Like shoot fly.
A lot of former Saints making plays over there with Velus Jones Jr., Rashid Shaheed. I mean,
yeah,
former Saints showed up playoff divisional weekend. So, but yeah, there wasn't too much to that. Seattle flex. They beat the crap out of San Francisco, and they're moving on. Like that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was as good as that one goes. So, but let's go to a pretty interesting, really fun matchup that we discussed too. The Texans taking on the New England Patriots in New England, and Patriots walking away with a 28-16 victory, and it never even felt like it was that close. I mean, this just shows a testament of how phenomenal that Texans defense is. They got 0 help from the offense. CJ Stroud imploded for the second week in a row, but they were still in it throughout the whole game, despite the fact that CJ Stroud continued to turn the ball over. But let's start with New England side. Drake May went 16-27, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Did take 5 sacks. One of those touchdowns going to Kayshon Boutte, which was a phenomenal throw. It was great because, weather was a factor. There ended up being 4 fumbles from Drake May. He lost 2 of them. But, man, what a throw. Drake May is one of those guys. But on the ground game, as a team, they went 32 for 105. Bulk of that coming from Ramondre Stevenson, who's really had a great second half of the season. I mean, he had all those fumbling issues, but he's really been playing phenomenal this back half of the season. He went 16 for 70. Travion Henderson was 12 for 25. And then Drake May got a few carries for 10 yards. But Kayshon Boutte led the team. He had 5 targets, 3 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, he also had a phenomenal touchdown catch. It really showed how strong he is at the catch point. He had 6 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Demario Douglas, 2 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. And then Austin Hooper caught a pass, and Ramondre Stevenson had 4 catches as well. But this New England defense really got after CJ Stroud. 3 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 14 pass deflections, 9 quarterback hits, and 4 interceptions, one of which back went for a pick 6 for Marcus Jones. But man, they just kind of bullied CJ Stroud all day. Again, weather was a factor, but he just did not look comfortable at all. And he went 20 of 47 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, those 4 picks, and being sacked 3 times. 0 semblance of a running game. As a team, they went 22 for 48, with Woody Marks getting 14 for 17, Nick Chubb 4 for 14, and a couple other players getting a couple carries. But the rookie Jaden Higgins, 10 targets, 6 catches, 59 yards. Dalton Schultz, he left the game with, I believe, a calf injury, but he had 2 targets, 2 catches, 47 yards. Xavier Hutchinson, 13 targets, only got 4 passes for 44 yards. And then a handful of other players caught some passes as well. Woody Marks fumbled the ball and lost it. But this Houston defense, like we talked about at the top of it, was phenomenal. 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections, 2 quarterback hits, that 1 interception. I mean, they really kept the Houston Texans in the game the entire time, despite the fact CJ Stroud was just giving the ball away on majority of drives. But man, really, really great matchup. You think if Houston can get their offense even remotely better, maybe midway, like
Yeah.
halfway point of the league, I mean, you think they could really cause some serious damage. And man, New England, they look good. I mean, they have a nice, interesting matchup against Jarrett Stidham's Broncos, but it was great victory. And Mike Vrabel's first year back as head coach. He's in the AFC Championship game, so it's big time.
I would say I was very impressed with the Patriots defense and how disciplined the linebackers were to being very patient, waiting for the wide receivers to get into their second level of their route running areas, and the corners uh, basically maintaining them with the safeties, and if it could pull the linebacker back a little bit or into the middle or something like that. But they read that tight end, block and release. They read it perfectly. Great timing. They were patient with it. They didn't leave where their zone was supposed to be. When CJ Stroud knew where he wanted to go for those easy 5, 6, 7 yards, they attacked it right when he was getting ready to pat the ball. Like they knew what was happening. They knew how to get these plays stopped before they even started. So a lot of kudos on the patience on that defensive Vrabel side. And, those linebackers were definitely doing what they had to do. The cornerbacks were very patient in what they had to do, and the safeties were doing exactly what they needed to do in those times. So just a stifling defense, and very, very hard to strategize against a team that is well coached now. And they know where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be, and they get kudos from their coach. You could see how well that head coach and that player bond is on and off the field. You can see it. So let's go over to the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears, where the Rams took a 20-17 win in Chicago. This was a great game to watch. It was a hard, basically
It lived up to the hype.
It did.
We hyped this one up a lot. I know I did personally. So
yeah, you did. And the stats are about the same if you really want to look at it. The only difference is running the ball in besides passing the ball into the end zone. But let's start with the winning side here with Matthew Stafford going 20 for 42, 258 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked 4 times, but their running game was able to get it done. Kyron Williams, 21 carries, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum, 6 for 19. And collectively, they went 31 for 111 on the ground. And there was a point in this game where the Bears were stopping the run. They were really stifling this offense, this Rams offense. And then during the second half of the game, the Rams came back in and started to solidify that run game. And they were wearing the Bears down for one drive where they held the ball for maybe 6 or 7 minutes. And that was a big hit. And you could see that the Bears were getting tired. They were running the ball a little bit to the left, to the right, into the center. So they were able to get that going. And then the Bears kind of closed it in again and reset. So this is what made the game, because they were able to score on one of those drives. But Colby Parkinson on the pass game took 7 targets, went 3 receptions for 56 yards. Puka Nacua had 10 targets, 5 receptions for 56 yards. And Jordan Whittington caught 2 targets for 35 yards. And Kyron Williams actually caught 4 receptions out of his 5 targets for 30 yards. So they were trying. Devontae Adams had 6 targets, but only 2 for 24. They did a really good job in trying to hold him to where he was supposed to be. Matthew Stafford fumbled the ball twice and didn't lose it. They ended up recovering it. Kyron Williams ended up recovering one of them as well. But this defense played well, but they were not able to get any sacks. They had 4 tackles for a loss, 9 pass deflections, and 4 QB hits. But Kobe Durant ended up getting 2 interceptions, and Cam Curl ended up getting an interception as well. So 3 interceptions will do it for you in the takeaway game. But go over to the other side here, where Caleb Williams, 23 for 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He wasn't sacked. He looked pretty comfortable back there. DeAndre Swift went 19 for 76, and Caleb Williams went 5 for 40, and Kyle Monangai looked great, 13 for 36 when he needed to get a first down. That third down running back, that's what he was. But Colston Loveland, Caleb Williams started to really, really like this guy going into these games. But Colston Loveland ended up getting 10 targets, 4 receptions for 56 yards. He did end up getting hurt towards the end there as I was watching. I don't know what ended up happening, but I think I don't know if that was a concussion or not, but he got hit pretty hard. And I don't know. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, I think he was being evaluated for concussion.
Yeah. Okay. I
so
figured
he missed
as much.
the rest of the fourth quarter and the overtime.
Okay. So 8 targets went to DJ Moore, 5 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown for DJ Moore. 6 targets went to Rome Odunze. He caught 2 for 44, and all 4 of Kyle Monangai's targets went 4 for 46. And Cole Kmet caught all 3 of his for 3 and 31 and a touchdown, including that 40 to 50 yard bomb.
Incredible play.
It couldn't have been actually. It had to be something less.
It was
than
only
that,
it counted in the stat sheet as a 14-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah,
but in the air it was like 52 yards.
Yeah, it looked like because he kept pedaling back. Now this is the thing. I will argue. Okay, I'll just finish.
It's an act from the Pope, dude. The Pope made that happen.
I will. Devin Duvernay ended up getting a fumble recover, or he fumbled and recovered it. But I will say this here: the Bears had 4 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, 7 pass deflections, and 4 QB hits. No interceptions, but it was just a really good game all around. 20-17. It was going back and forth, very, very slowly. But I'm gonna throw this out there. It was a decent pass from Caleb Williams. I'm not going to say it was an amazing pass, okay? Because he effed it and chucked it, okay? He wasn't looking anywhere. He threw it to the back corner. He knew where in the area he wanted.
He knew where his guy was going to be. He knew where his receiver was going to be.
His guy was not going to be over there, okay? I'm telling you now. Because Kmet was inside and then had to go back to that side.
Yeah, it would put it where only he could catch it.
He was not looking to where he was throwing it. I'm sorry. I don't believe that was a.
No, he threw it to a spot that he knew that his guy was going to be. Of course, he's got 4 guys bearing down in his face. Of course, he's not going to see where he's going to throw it. He's throwing it to a spot where he knows his tight end's going to be.
Yeah, an area.
He's hoping that he can go out there and make a play.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
Well, I hear it from other people be like, "Oh, he put it on a dime." I was like, "Relax," because if Kmet didn't come back, you know what I mean. I was like, "Relax." So
no, he's 6'1". He's got 4 guys barreling down his face. I don't think he knew exactly where he was throwing to. He was just trying to throw it to an area.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard it from other people be like, "Oh, it was a dime drop." Relax. Calm down. I'm not saying it was a bad pass. Yeah, I wasn't saying it was a bad pass. So
I watched it with a couple of my really close friends, and I mean that we lost our minds when that happened.
I bet
it was crazy.
I was looking at it, I was like, oh my goodness.
There's not too many guys that can make that play.
Right. And I'll also say this for people for all the Rams fans or whatever fans, Green Bay fans, I'll say that too. Looking for the push off, there was no push off. That was not that was a very, very clean direct the other way.
It wasn't even a full extension.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a push off at all. Like he had his hands here. Yeah, there was tussling between the corner and the safety and the tight end, but he just released and went the other way. So yeah. So I'll definitely say that. But
dude, this was I like I said earlier, I believe it fully lived up to the hype. I
Mhm.
think the Bears are going to be very good for a very long time. They've got a plethora of playmakers. The 3 interceptions from Caleb Williams, I don't think they were all on him, especially that last one where DJ Moore was just kind of didn't run as fully through the route. He kind of just gave up on it,
Yeah.
and it was an easy pick for Cam Curl. But man, like that they have a chance because they have the right guy at quarterback. Dennis Allen, I have to give him his flowers as much as he and I don't see eye to eye from his Saints tenure.
Mhm.
He had a great game plan against this Rams defense. They sacked Matthew Stafford the most times he's been sacked all season in a game. It was kind of frustrating in the first half where a lot of the underneath stuff was open, but man, second half they really turned it on. And I have to admit, like he had a great game plan, so it was really good to see that. But this Bears team is going to be dangerous for the very near future. Like
Yeah.
they showed that they belong and they can compete with the best of them. So
Yeah, they got 2 great running backs, good quarterback, 2 really good tight ends, and I would say at the moment 3 excellent wide receivers. So, that's just my take on it, and the defense is only gonna get better, and this is under 1 year of a new head coach that took them from 0 to hero. So, you know,
mm.
change the
Yeah,
mindset of the
he's
culture.
the right guy. Yeah, he changed the culture overnight. I mean, you know, it was super aggressive on the fourth down, and that's kind of been his MO these last 2 playoff games.
Mhm.
Which I get too, but man, if I was a Chicago fan, I'd be really confident and really happy with the future.
Yeah,
Tough loss, brutal loss, but at the end of the day, like you show that you belong, so I'd be stoked.
absolutely. Um, and that kinda brings us to next Sunday where, the Patriots are going to Denver, where they face the Broncos, and the Rams are going to Seattle for the 3rd time this year to go face their division rival. And that's your AFC and NFC championship game, and we'll get into that in the next episode. But if you guys have not yet followed us at Top Dog Coverage, please subscribe. We're on our road to on our road to 1,000 subscribers. Got to get to 500 first. So with your help, we could do that. So follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Swipe up on Apple and Spotify. Go to topdogcoverage.com and email us who you guys think are going to be the Super Bowl contenders, the winners. Email us at topdogcoverage@gmail.com. But
Hey, before we go though,
yeah,
give us just off your hip. Who do you have going to the ship?
It's really hard for me to say that I I'm gonna say Patriots and Rams.
Okay,
I'm saying Patriots and Rams. Uh,
Patriots, Rams. All right.
yeah, it's really hard to knock on Drake May right now. Also knowing what we know with the injuries, but I don't know. The Rams Seattle game is going to be close, but who do you think? I think it's going to be Patriots Rams.
I mean, it's everything's pointing to the fact that the Patriots should dominate the Broncos, which raises a flag for me. I'm like, wait, I mean, it's still Sean Payton, so should I
Yeah,
go the opposite direction? And Seahawks have just been dominating. I mean, it's been ridiculous, so I don't know.
there's our fans.
Yeah. What's up,
You
Rage
got it.
Ninja?
Yeah. Well, we got Melton over here. Melton thinks that it's going to be Rams versus the Patriots as well for the Super Bowl. So I don't. I can see that. I can see it. So who are what are you looking at here, dude? I mean, it's hard. It's
Yeah. Just for sake of differency, I'm gonna go Seahawks Broncos.
Seahawks Broncos. You're gonna have Stidham go against that Seattle defense, huh?
Two bad quarterbacks. Stidham and Darnold competing against each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's what everybody signed up for.
Look, people think the Pats are not going to go, but that also means that Jared Stidham is going to have a game against the Patriots defense, which is very highly unlikely at this point.
Could you not just have a quick surgery to put a screw in it or something and stabilize the ankle? Like, come
We
on.
talked about
There's
the
got to
whole
be
medicine
something.
bit.
We got technology in today's world. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's get that dude a cyborg ankle. Let's figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, with with a lot of this stuff too, it's just like you don't know what's going to happen. Does Vegas take everybody for a loop here? You know what I mean? Like it's really hard to tell, but we've seen crazier things. Maybe Jared Stidham is a better quarterback under Sean Payton. We don't know this. We haven't seen him play under this scheme, under this,
Hey, Sean Payton got Jameis Winston to stop doing Jameis Winston things.
This is true. This is
he was
true.
what, 5-2 with him his last year in New Orleans. So
yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, well, if you guys haven't yet, though, please follow us at Top Dog Coverage, YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and email us, okay, at topdogcoverage@gmail.com. Let us know what your takes are, and we'll read them on the show. Go to topdogcoverage.com and vote for your favorite team as well. But that about does it for us. We will see you guys with the predictions and the breakdowns of the AFC and the NFC Championship. But until then, it's your boy Dirty, it's your boy C-Dub, and we are out. Peace.